I actually have an opinion.
Go.
So I saw that, I think it was yesterday's or Tuesday's stream. It was like an Andrew Tate video.
Yeah.
And he said that he wants a virgin over like a girl with like a higher body count, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just screams.
Whoa.
I did the same thing
Hold
last
on.
time, and they hated me for it.
I'll keep it more PG.
Let me play this one more.
So you're saying if an older guy wants a virgin like her,
You're not a virgin. I mean, you may be
if
born
an older
again,
guy,
but
hold on. If
it's a
an older
different
guy,
You might be bored.
ladies, if an older guy wants a virgin like Grace, that makes him a. That's what you're saying right now.
Okay, he's like what, pushing 40? So how many 35,
So let's say
40?
she meets a
who's
38-year-old.
You? Okay.
She meets a 38-year-old. Does that make him a?
She. How old are you?
23.
23, 38. That's like
What?
how big of a difference? I don't know. I didn't go to college.
Andrew Tate is 36. Okay, let's just.
He's pushing 40. How many 36-year-old virgins are there? Probably not many.
Yeah, but he wants to date like young baddies.
He wants someone who's legal. That sounds like someone who grooms.
Nah.
Because she's
This is
forgetting a part
such-
of what
I'm
Andrew
so
Tate was
fucking tired
saying.
of hearing this
He
shit on
wasn't
the
just
podcast.
saying a virgin. He was saying somebody under the age of 20. So it was like 18 to 20 was his gap ratio.
Can she go to the bar with you?
No.
He said his ideal one was a 19-year-old when he started saying
That's-
She ain't getting a
big
big
one.
Newsflash for you. That's a lot of guys.
We know. We already went over it, and that's.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it right.
Well, it
Doesn't
doesn't.
No,
it doesn't
it
make
is
it
right.
wrong just because you think it's wrong.
Maybe there's a
A
reason.
lot of
this has
girls'
been-
ideals is rich guys, but
That's
are we
fine.
allowed-
Does
we
it
can't,
hasn't
like,
doesn't
yell
play
at them
on
for it.
their age though. I mean,
Was he old enough to drive when she was born?
What does that have to do
That's
with
a good
anything?
point. That's like a way to tell if the age gap is like too
Just
extreme.
because you guys feel like it's wrong doesn't make it wrong. This has been the norm throughout all of human history. Older guys with resources go for younger women. It's fine. That's human nature.
Younger adult women.
Yes.
because
Debatable.
they would go for a 14-year-old if they could.
No,
so they're giving
no,
the
no,
next
no, no,
best
no.
thing.
Come
This
on.
is progression. This is projection.
It's not. How is it projection? You think I want a 14-year-old? If anything, you're projecting right now,
What?
not me. That's
Okay, I
I'm
will
just
say
telling you
something.
what human nature is like and what it's been like throughout history. Men go
and
for
I'm
younger
telling you,
women.
it doesn't just because it's
Doesn't
human
make-
nature
doesn't
doesn't mean
make
it's
them-
right.
doesn't
Human
make them
nature is also
pedophiles.
men go out for human nature and don't know how to keep it in their pants. That's still human nature. Doesn't mean to make it right. Just because it's human nature doesn't mean it's right.
There's plenty of women who can't keep their legs
There's
closed
kids
either.
who
KEEKO,
grow up
there's
who are
plenty
raised
of
and
women
they're
who
gonna
can't
be
keep their legs
born again
closed.
Christian.
There's plenty of women who can't keep their legs closed. Doesn't make that right.
Just because you're, like she said, a born again virgin doesn't mean just you can have all these new opinions of keeping your legs closed or you guys
What?
like.
No, you just said there's plenty of guys who can't keep it in their pants.
I
That
was-
doesn't make it right.
I was making a
That's not
synonym for
okay.
rape. I didn't want to say rape on here is what I meant.
Wait,
By
what
keeping
are
their
we-
pants, I was
what are
saying
we
they
even
take it on
talking about?
unwilling suspects. is
How
what I
did
was
this
saying.
What?
devolve
Not-
into rape?
Because
What
I was
are
saying
you talking about?
that's what I was saying earlier, but I was trying to use a synonym and not just use that word, just throwing it out there. But I was saying that's why you were saying human nature. There's men who like younger women by human nature. I was also saying it's human nature with how big a percentage of men we have who go out and rape women. Doesn't mean it's correct.
Okay, hold on.
I don't know a single guy.
Okay.
Can
Wait,
You don't,
that's
I would
too real.
guarantee you. I would
I have
guarantee
something
you.
to say.
Some of your close friends have probably assaulted a woman.
What?
Facts.
Just based on
Facts.
numbers.
What
It's
the
numbers.
fuck?
It's 1 in 4 men. So how, that's
No.
just based on
Nope.
numbers. Sweetie.
Okay,
No.
I don't think that's fair to
No,
the men.
it's not
here.
1 in 4.
But you're
But
not
I
sexually
do-
active, so how would you know?
I do want to say something.
Let's
on
let.
that.
Okay, Grace, go ahead,
Just
and
real
then
quick.
we'll come back in.
I think I see where you girls are at with what Andrew Tate said and seeing it going through your head and then filtering it through that, seeing him as a child or like that's leading to that. I think though, if you really look at what he's saying and you really watch that, what he's saying is that he doesn't want an older woman who's been with a bunch of partners because he wants to be. I'm not siding with him completely, but I do think that he has a good point that men do want women who have less baggage.
Why? They don't want to be worshipped?
Because
Why?
No.
Why would a guy want a
Because
woman with
women-
less
Anyone here
baggage?
that's actually married, like what the fuck? You guys
Because
don't even have
not
enough
that it's-
fucking like clout to say.
I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. That's why like it makes sense though for people like
I don't
Chase.
get it.
Yeah.
People like Chase who would want somebody with a lower body count because he's also now saving himself. So that makes sense because he's saving himself now, so he wants somebody else who's saving himself. Andrew Tate's not fucking saving himself. He's going out and probably fucking multiple women a day. So it's a little weird for somebody who wants somebody to be saving themselves when somebody's body count is probably over 300.
Are men and
He
women the
didn't- he didn't-
same?
Hold on though. He didn't.
Are men and women the same?
Wait, hold on. What,
So you're
what
saying
you said?
men can go and have multiple partners, but
You
not
guys,
women.
hold on,
That's
hold on,
usually
hold
what
on,
they're
hold on,
saying.
hold on, everybody. Andrew Tate didn't say he wants a woman who's saving herself. He simply said that he wants a girl who has a lower body count and less baggage
A
because
12-year-old.
No, that's not what he said.
No.
That's not what he said.
Not all of us.
That's not what he said.
He said like 18 to 26.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't even be mad about this. This is your fault.
What?
No,
Andrew
this
Tate's
is
Leonardo?
ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
What's
You can't accuse
Wait.
men who want
You're
legal
getting a
of age
little-
women. You guys are accusing men who want legal of age women of being pedophiles. That
If
is a
50-year-old
crime.
man wants an 18-year-old, it's fucking
Now
weird.
it's just
It's
evolving.
weird.
First it was
Because
mid
you know why?
30s, now it's 50.
Can I
You,
say
you guys are
something?
making it
Too,
more and more
because
ridiculous.
It's like, for me, I'm only 22 years old, and when I see most 18-year-old boys, they literally look like children to me. They look like a whole fucking child that I could have birthed myself. When I see a
Women are
16-year-old
not-
boy, they literally look like infants. Okay, I'm attracted to women too. If I see a 16-year-old girl, I'm like, they still look like a fucking child.
We're not
They
talking
look
about
like a
16
child.
we're not talking about
I know,
16-year-olds.
but you're not getting my point. You're not getting my point. Okay, even an 18-year-old girl, now at 22 years old, I see most 18-year-olds, I'm like, holy crap, you look like a whole child, like a freaking infant compared to me. And I'm only 22.
Infants?
So that's why it's weird to me. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Like off the bat, I could tell that she was.
semantics. You know what she's trying to get at.
Thank you. Off the bat, I could tell that she was the youngest one in this room immediately. It was obvious. It was obvious. She carries herself very youngly. It's not something, even though she's only
Shots
a year
fired.
younger than me.
Shots
But no, but
fired.
seriously,
Shots
you could just tell. Like you could just tell, and if that's what you're seeking out, it's weird to me. Point blank. Period.
You sound very
Okay.
triggered by it for some
Let-
reason.
I do because it's. I know it's not all men.
How old are you?
But it's 22.
Oh,
But it's
okay.
the men who try to act like it's not a big issue because
It's not an issue.
It's not.
It's not an issue
It's
for
not.
men.
insane.
It's not an
You
issue
guys
at
are
all.
insane.
It's
No.
not. It's not.
We're literally like so many guys.
What are you trying to say? Philia is not an
No,
issue?
what
No,
the fuck?
That's what basically what you're saying, though.
You keep making it into pedophilia, but it's not.
That's
You're-
what our whole conversation was
you're
that we
trying
brought up.
to-
That's the conversation
Okay.
we're
Keeko,
on right
You're
now.
trying to shame men for having preferences for younger women
Yeah, for having
by
preferences.
labeling it something that's illegal. That's
would you
that's a
call
classic.
it?
That's a classic shame tactic.
Yeah.
Nobody talked about having interest in women under the age of 18. We just said a lot of men prefer younger women, and you're like, that's fucking pedophilia. I think this is projection. 'cause
That's
you're probably
ad hominem.
you-
No,
yeah.
let's
You're
move
saying-
on
do
to
you know what
projection.
projection
you're
means? Do you know
probably-
what projection means?
you're- yeah,
So then
it
you're
is.
going to accuse me of being a basic pedophile then. Is what
No,
you're
I'm
saying.
not
Projection.
accusing you of.
Okay, but then
I'm
know
not
what the term
accusing
means.
you
Then
of
know what
being a pedophile. Okay. What I'm accusing you of is being triggered by this and trying to shame men
I'm
because
triggered
you
by
know it won't work in your favor someday.
Maybe I'm so triggered by it from the time when I was underage and how many older men were trying to
But
get
we're
at
not-
me. I couldn't even walk down the street
We're not
That's not
talking
what we're
about the
talking
same
about,
thing.
though.
We're not talking about the same thing. We're talking about adult. We're talking about adult women here between the age of 18 to 25.
But calling an 18-year-old an adult
Doesn't
that's
matter.
like-
It's still legal.
Yes, you're an adult.
Doesn't
at
matter.
18.
That sounds so good.
Still
That's
legal. You're
really
legally an adult.
crazy
How is
you're
that-
saying
You're legally an
Okay.
adult.
That way too.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I want to come in on this.
So-
hold on. Let me come in and I'll let you. Okay, so first off, at 18 years old, you can buy a gun. You can
What
join
kind
the
of gun?
military.
Not all guns. So please
Just let him
clarify.
finish.
You
Let him.
can't-
Let him
Can't
finish.
buy
Stop.
handguns.
Can you stop
Stop
interrupting?
talking.
Like, let me
him
talk.
Stop talking. Let him finish.
Okay, so at 18, you're an adult. You're legally an adult at 18. If you want to attach the teen to it at 18, 19, fine. But this is the thing, is that men are not allowed to have preferences, standards, and boundaries. It happens to be the case that men are attracted to younger women for a myriad of reasons. And when I say younger women, I mean women, adult women from 18 and up, okay? 18, let's say 18 to 25. They've done studies on this. They ask men of all ages, the peak attractiveness that they see in women is between the age of like 20 and 21. 20 and 22 is what men find the most physically attractive, that age range. It's kind of funny, like, men, we don't shame women for y'all preferences. You want a guy who's confident, rich, funny, charismatic, all these things, right? But men, we have different preferences than you guys do.
What's the age range on the men that you're talking about from this observation?
From
It's when they
18
die.
from 18 to 60. Men
18
prefer
to 60.
yes, men find the most of the women that they find the most attractive, it's between 20 and 22.
What about the 65-year-olds?
They-
It's the same. He showed a little thing, and it's like basically it just stops
it's a
at like
chart.
22. Like they just stop finding women over the age of 22 attractive, no matter how old they get.
But it's funny, like, men always get shamed for this. It's always met with some sort of contempt, disdain, shaming language, insecure. I'm not going to use the
but
word.
women get
If you
all
wanted
this
a girl-
stuff.
If you wanted a girl with big
Brian.
titties and a fat ass, I would say that's your preference, dude. Go for it. It's a preference I understand that I have a problem with.
Okay, here's another reason why men there's an evo psych reason for why men care about a woman's age, why they prefer younger women. It comes down to fertility. Younger women are more capable for the reason why. Okay, let's say you're 35. Let's say you're a 40-year-old man. You're not gonna, if you want to have a family, you want to have children, you're not gonna pair with a 40-year-old woman because the likelihood that she's gonna be able to bring a pregnancy to term is minuscule. So as a 40-year-old guy, you're gonna be looking younger. You're gonna be looking late 20s, 30s, you know, in that age range. You're gonna always be looking younger because for biological reality, women at a certain age can no longer bring a child to term. So it's on an intellectual level, like I can think, okay, I'm not going to try to date a 40-year-old if I want to have kids, but also it's an evolutionary thing. We look for indicators of youth, and that's what we find attractive.
I get that point, and I would say that's a good percentage of the reason why, whatever, but I would think it's unfair to say that's the majority, because like where I think of the stereotypical, you know, like huge age gap relationship, it's usually the divorced older man who already has his kids, an ex-wife who's now getting with the hot young 20-year-old. They don't even have kids 99% of the time, the guys who seek out these young girls. Okay, let me not say 99 because I know you guys are going to kill me for that. When I see most of these men with the younger girls, I honestly don't see most of them reproducing with them. Maybe on occasion, like on freaking Modern Family with Sofia Viagra, but usually they're not having kids, but I get
something?
it.
Go ahead.
Just so your thing about age gap, kind of like just doesn't resonate with me because my parents have a 22-year age gap, and my dad was a divorced grandfather when he met my mom, who was 22 years younger and engaged, and he broke up her engagement as a divorced grandfather. And
How old was your mom?
my mom was 30 and my dad was 50. So
I think age gaps are automatically thrown out the window when 30 is involved. But
okay, I don't get that then. I don't know
because
why.
once you hit 30, you've gone through so much of your lifespan, and you're so far away from 18 and like.
So
being
do you
a
think
kid at that
women
point.
aren't truly adults until they're 30? Like they
No, I
don't
never
really have a
said
full
that.
life?
I never said that, but I think that a lot of women under the age of 25 or closer to that point don't have a lot in common with men who are 50 plus or whatever, and I think they do have more characteristics of just being young. I feel like once you're at 30, like especially my coworkers that I know, once they're at 30, you're just at a more adult place in your life. Not everybody, obviously, everybody's different, everybody ages differently, but most 30-year-olds I know are at the same range as 40-year-olds and plus than my 25 and under friends that I know. So like I don't want to be 22 living in my dorm in IV with 8 people going on, and then my boyfriend is dropping off his 3 kids to school or is going to be welcoming his, you know, grandchild or something. Like it's just different
But
realms.
we don't want that either. We don't want that either.
I'm not saying you do,
Yeah.
but she was just bringing up the age gap why I don't think 30 is different, because I think somebody at 30 is doing different things than somebody at 22, 23.
I'd agree with
whatever.
that. I don't
What about
think
the
the
sugar
guys I don't think men should be shamed though for having those preferences. As a woman, I'll say that because, and I don't think it's demeaning to women that they do. And the reason being is because it's biologically wired into them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not them doing that to be, it's just a way
Can I
that
ask you a question?
it's
It's,
what men
hold on, I'll
look
let you
for.
come in
ahead,
really
go
quick.
So,
Just to add to her point, it's rooted in biology
Yeah.
and evolutionary. It's hardwired attraction traits. Go ahead.
So,
Or-
but what about like the opposite? So if all these men of all these ages are all going for like the same age group, is there any like young men that are like, well, I don't stand a chance in hell. I'm not particularly rich and stuff. All I have is my youth. Is there any like, you know, like what about the sugar mama situation? Is there like the young
really-
men that's just like, well, I'm young, dumb, and full of I don't want to get some bitch pregnant because that's a whole thing to deal
Well-
with. And like, I could just go for them old baddies and they got their own money and they don't give a shit that I'm poor. I mean, right? That's
Well, okay, so I'll speak to
Isn't
that.
that a thing?
I dated a woman who's 45.
right.
On the
Probably
finances
didn't need
side,
anything. I mean, maybe
well,
she wanted sex, but maybe, you know, financially. And stuff.
well, no, yeah, and she didn't have children, so she was, you know, there weren't issues there. But I mean, it certainly wasn't a sugar mama situation.
Right.
I
I mean, it didn't have to exactly be that. I was just thinking
But-
it's like if everyone's going for the same young girls, what are the young guys going for? Like,
Well,
do they
no-
stand a chance?
if you ask men like what they find attractive, they will say that, but most men probably like they're not going to have either be physically attractive enough or be of a certain status level to be able to, if you're in your 30, if you're 35 but you're kind of a bum, you're good luck with the 20-year-olds, But Tatum, did you want to come in on this?
Oh,
Your thoughts?
My thoughts
on the
on
whole
it.
age gap.
Age is just a number to me, so it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, though, like if I was a 22-year-old and a 40-year-old was pursuing me, I would think that's a little creepy. I'm not gonna lie.
If you were a what?
If I was like a 22-year-old and a 40-year-old was pursuing me, I would probably find that a little strange.
You'd find it strange.
I would find it strange because I'd be like, what do I have to offer you? Like, you know what
Your
I'm
beauty?
saying? Like,
Yeah, your beauty, your youth, your fertility.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Bro, like
So
that.
much objectifying here.
I know it's very triggering,
Not
but
your
it's the truth.
personality. Definitely not that.
no, I totally understand. When you guys said,
Obviously, assuming she has a personality, those are the benefits
Maybe
that
legs and
comes with
feet
it.
too. She can walk over and then suck that big old cock.
What the fuck?
I mean,
Yeah, it's just like.
But just to clarify, because I know I sound like the freaking Grim Reaper of all men, I would say the exact same thing to a 40-year-old woman pursuing an 18-year-old boy. I would say the exact same thing. It's not one side. It's just we just normally see the other side. So it's not like I would be like, oh yeah, old woman wants to pursue a little. Like I wouldn't say that at
But
all.
if
I think
both
it's both
parties are
wrong.
consensual, why do you want to control what other
Because
people do?
I have been in the situation now where since
Have you been preyed on by
yes,
an older guy?
multiple times.
Okay.
When I was in my youth, that's all I experienced. Especially because I was heavier then. I had a fat, I had big tits when I was younger.
What?
That's all, and I would say like I'm. It doesn't matter. We just don't need to tell anybody. They don't need to know. I saw it so
That's
much in my
gross.
life,
That's
and I
gross.
work with children and I work with high school kids.
Yeah.
So I see it firsthand so often. So that's why I am so passionate about this, because maybe I just see it more often than you would as just a normal person. But
That makes
it just
sense.
happens so
That makes
often in
sense.
front of me as to why I am a little bit more suspicious
Yeah.
when I do see those men who want the younger ones, because I have people
Yeah.
who are supposed to be my employees and I'm their manager and they're 16 years old crying to me because their 30-year-old
Okay.
boyfriend broke up with them.
Men
Like,
of
that shouldn't be
That
happening.
makes sense. I personally never see it. So
So that's why I wanted to show you my side of
yeah,
it.
thank you for explaining that.
I mean, men of any age who find women between the age of 18 to 25 physically attractive, I mean, yes, are there predators out there? Of course, but I mean, we're talking about such a fringe. It's a very small amount of what we're talking about here. So it's not even worth having this conversation. If you want to, like, you're using this very extreme example to make your argument. We can have a conversation
What
of.
extreme example am I
Well,
using?
you're trying to say men who are attracted to women, say between the age of 18 to 22, there's something else there. We can argue.
what
Hold
you
on.
said.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's where you were going, though.
No, I'm
we can
saying-
have,
Okay,
but
go
okay, we
Go
can
ahead.
we can have a discussion of, man, why don't men want to date women their own age? We can have that discussion, but to frame men who are attracted to women who are, say, between the age of 18 to 23 as something more than just men who are attracted to beautiful adult women, it's kind of, I don't think it's a fair argument to be making.
That's your opinion, and I just disagree. And that's like, and I'm personally, my last few people I've dated have been 30, and I'm 22.
Bro,
so it's not like I'm against a huge ass age. What? That's not
You're
what I'm saying.
22. What the
I'm
f-
22.
why are we even fucking having this conversation then?
Because I'm at the end of what you guys are saying, what the gap you're saying, I'm already at the end of that. My problem is, I know it's only 4 years, but as a
So
human,
did you get taken
develop.
advantage of by that guy?
No, that's not what I'm saying
Okay,
at all.
so
You're
so
22
saying
though,
you're
right?
saying that
Yes,
older
I'm
guys.
22, but I'm
And you
saying
said they're in
I've
their
developed
30s?
so much as a person from 18 to 22. I have grown so much from 18 to 22 that, yes, I think it is weird for somebody 30 who'd be attracted to an 18-year-old. Why are you attracted to somebody you can't even take out to have a drink? Like, that's just
What
weird
if
to
you
me.
don't drink?
All right.
Okay.
We should just move on from this.